In 1774, the same year as the Intolerable Acts, Parliament passed the Quebec Act, and it made this area that was the prize in the French and Indian War part of Canada. And Canada was French Catholic. New France had not even allowed non-Catholics into the colony. So this was a slap in the face to the colonies, especially to New England. Um, this area here that, as I said, had been won in the French and Indian War, that contained a lot of fertile farmland, was now off limits to the people in the colonies. And in the proclamation of 1763 had already closed off what is labeled on this map Indian Reserve to the colonists. Uh, so this was just another provocation, another insult that the that ratcheted up the conflict, the tension between the Patriots, as they called themselves, and the English Parliament. Now, in response to these events, in September and October of 1774, representatives of 12 of the 13 colonies, all but Georgia, met in Philadelphia for the First Continental Congress. And they did not declare independence yet. They hadn't evolved to that point where they were ready to do that. But they did issue a Declaration of American Rights. And they declared the Intolerable Acts null and void. They don't exist. We don't accept them. We don't obey them. We don't acknowledge that they're legitimate. They also boycotted British goods, refused to buy imports from Britain, and it became a badge of honor to wear simple clothing, for example. What might have been looked down on at an earlier time was now something that they were proud of. Ominously, they also urged Massachusetts to arm for its own defense. So they're moving ever closer to actual warfare. The king, George III, was furious. He declared the colonies in rebellion, and now it is probably only a matter of time until this turns into actual warfare. That time came at the battles of Lexington and Concord, or really one battle. The British general, Thomas Gage, had heard rumors of military stores, arms and ammunition kept at Concord, which was 19 miles from Boston. So late in the evening of April 18th, 1775, he sent a force of 800 troops to Concord to try to capture those weapons. And what happened the next day was known as the shot heard around the world. But first we're talking about April 18th, and that was the scene for the famous Midnight Ride of Paul Revere, as it was called later. The purpose was to warn the colonists in Lexington and Concord that the British were coming. The plan was to signal from the steeple of the Old North Church in Boston, who had spies in the area, to let people know, let someone like Paul Revere know that the British were coming and what route they were going to take. The line that we've often heard is, one if by land, two if by sea. And briefly, so they wouldn't be detected by the British, two lanterns appeared in the steeple of the Old North Church, telling the Patriots that the British were going to be crossing the Charles River, and then most of their journey was by land, but the first part of it was by sea, giving them information that they could use. The next morning, someone fired a shot. We don't know who. This was in Lexington, which was on the road to Concord. and there were small skirmishes there. But the real fighting, the serious fighting, happened on the way back. The British had not been terribly successful in finding arms and ammunition because a lot of them had been hidden because of the warning that they had. Uh, but the advance news allowed 4,000 patriots to assemble on the returning path of the British. Of the original force of 800, the British suffered 273 casualties, along with 93 American casualties. And this was now war.